hunting,
fishing,
cooking,
camping,
conservation,
travel,
gardening,
photography, family.
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 This is the Outdoor Rules Podcast. All right, everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is Mike. We are going to do an episode that I've been looking forward to. It's kind of about deer hunting, but it's also a little bit about one of the things that I think hunting teaches us about life. And going to be a couple familiar voices on here today. Mark's here.
Hello.
And Caitlin's here.
Hi.
But we're also joined by a new voice on Outdoor Rules. Matt's younger son, Hunter's here.
Hello.
So, Hunter, I guess just by way of introduction, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Hunter. I'm a college student. I go to Mansfield University. It's in northern Pennsylvania.
It's also my alma mater.
Yes.
What are you studying?
Fisheries biology.
Very similar to what I did.
Yep.
Maybe identical.
Exactly the same.
And how far along are you in your degree?
I'm a junior right now.
All right. So you're a junior. So you're what, like 20, 21?
20.
You're 20.
Yep.
And probably out of all of us, I would say Hunter spends maybe more time hunting and fishing than any of the rest of us right now. You think that's fair?
Probably.
Mark?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's definitely into a lot more pursuits than I'm into right now. I do a lot of duck hunting, right? You do a lot of pheasant hunting.
A lot of upland bird, a lot of waterfowl, a lot of fishing, everything and anything.
Yeah, I can't speak for you, but I know why I chose Mansfield University, or I know some of the reasons. One reason was because it had a good fisheries biology program, but one of the major reasons for me was where it's located.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more opportunity up there to hunt and fish than there is around here, and definitely played a part.
Yeah, it's about 15 miles from the New York border, pretty much dead in the middle of Pennsylvania, east and west. Got a handful of pretty big lakes, or relatively big lakes close by, and then a bunch of smaller ponds. So there's a lot of ice fishing there in the winter, and a lot of public land deer hunting, state forest, that kind of stuff. And as Mark mentioned, you do a lot of bird hunting, right?
Yep.
Mostly waterfowl?
Mostly waterfowl. Got my dog this year, so I've been getting into upland bird a little, hunting stocked pheasants, but mostly waterfowl.
Nice. So the premise of the episode that I want to do today goes back to something that was mentioned, I don't know, in a very early episode of the podcast. There's this saying in Caitlin's family. Caitlin, what's the saying?
Good luck, bad luck, who knows? And it comes from my late Aunt Jan, who always had an interesting perspective on things.
And the saying, the origin of the saying is actually a Chinese proverb. And there's the Chinese proverb is about, I'll try to paraphrase it. There's a farmer who has a horse and the horse runs away. And that's like an incident of bad luck. But then the next day the horse comes back and it brings two wild horses with it that the farmer is able to catch. And so then that bad luck turns to good luck. And then the next day, the farmer's son tries to ride one of the wild horses and falls off and breaks his arm or his leg. And so the good luck turns to bad luck. And then the day after that, the army shows up because there's a war going on and they're conscripting young men to fight in this war. And because the son is injured, he doesn't have to go off to war. And so the idea of that is just that you just never know. So, sometimes things that seem like good luck are actually bad luck. And I think in hunting, it's especially true that there are many times where things that seem like bad luck, and that maybe even are bad luck in the moment, actually end up being fortunate because something good happens later. And so the episode that I wanted to record today is kind of in 3 parts, and the 3 guests here are have each experienced something different this deer hunting season. And so we'll start at the beginning. We'll start with Good Luck. And Hunter, tell us about your deer hunting season this year.
I had about the best deer hunting season you could hope to have. I hunted for a total of 1 hour and 57 minutes, according to Mark.
But who's counting?
Right.
Yeah.
Mark is counting.
According to the text I got, one time I got the text that said, I'm in my tree stand to the time I got a bloody arrow. It was 1 hour and 57 minutes.
So I got up on a Saturday. I was still at school, kind of contemplating whether or not I wanted to come home. It's kind of a far drive. It's not too bad at 3 hours, but I called my father. He told me that they've been seeing a lot of deer. Hunting's been good. So I was like, I guess I'll drive home. Probably got home around 1:30ish. Got all my stuff together. Went out in the yard, shot 3 arrows. Shot a group at 30, like quarter sized. I was like, I'm good. I'm dialed. So I met up with Mark, like what, 3?
Yeah, right.
Because your dad already had his book at that point.
Yeah, I think he was at soccer.
You went up here and you rode in with me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we met here at Mimos and drove over.
Your dad was at soccer with Kaylee. He wasn't playing
my dad
soccer.
That.
So you got that image in your head now, right?
I didn't think I had to clarify, but I guess. So we drove in. Mark walked to his spot, his stand. I walked probably 400 yards across a cornfield.
Yeah, it's a poke.
Yeah,
We were trying we were parking pretty far because we didn't want to disturb the deer.
Yeah, trying not to walk edges.
Yeah.
So walking through real high corn stubble, it's not fun. And it was real loud.
And you kind of went the wrong way.
Yeah, well, I didn't know where the stand was, so
You went to the wrong corner.
I went to the wrong corner. I walked probably.
I looked down there and I'm like,
again,
wrong corner. I call up Hunter, the other corner.
So that probably added.
Sometimes you just can't do anything wrong.
Well, right.
That probably added another 400 yards to my walk. But I get up, I can see the stand from the field. One step in the woods and there's deer running. I'm like, God, crap. Whatever. Nothing I can do about it. Climb up in the stand. I was very poorly dressed and it was really windy. So I was immediately freezing. I think I had a light camo sweatshirt on. And it was real windy. I was cold. But sat there probably, I don't know, half an hour. And there's 2 doe out in the neighbor's field that I can see. They're just feeding, coming towards me, but I didn't have any doe tags, so I was watching them, but not too worried about it. I keep looking up at Mark. He's got the decoy out. There's some deer up around him going through the field. And then I see a black dog looking thing coming at me. I'm like, what is this?
About the time I texted you?
Yeah. Mark said, what is that? I said, I don't know. And then there was a lady walking down the neighbor's fence row. She's coming towards me, but I mean, the dogs are like out in our field, out in the other field. They're all over the place. So I'm trying to decide. I know there's deer behind me. I'm trying to decide if I want to yell or like how close I want to let this lady get. And she gets to probably 150 yards from me, but the dogs are underneath of me, like running under my stand. So I finally yell. She gets the dogs back, turns around. I'm like, well, those doe ran in the woods. My night's over. It's probably like 4 o'clock ish. Once those doe go into the woods, probably 10 minutes after that, I can still see the lady walking back to her house, and a little basket rack 6 runs a doe under me 15 yards, but full speed, like not stop, doesn't care. So they run under me, do a loop around the tree, go back. I'm like, oh, that was neat. That doe then runs back past me without that little 6 on her. So I'm like, oh, I wonder where he went. He comes back the way she came, probably 5 minutes after that. And then 5 minutes after that, I saw the deer that I ended up shooting going the same way, following the same trail. And then 5 minutes after that, I saw the big buck that we think they've been seeing the past couple days now. But they were all in range, but moving fast, not. After the one that I ended up shooting went past, I did a grunt. Thought maybe I'll get him come back to me. He didn't stop. He didn't care. After that last deer went past, probably 15 minutes, I see a nice 8-pointer coming at me in my wind, 40 yards, 50 yards maybe. He is coming slow and coming quiet. Like, he got very close to me before I saw him. Watch him where he's walking, pick a hole. He's going to walk 30 yards right in front of me in like the only open shooting lane I have. And he gets probably 2 yards from that hole, and I draw. He went behind a tree. I drew. Waiting. Stops. His head's in that hole. Turns around. I'm like, well. I let my bow down, and he turns away. He was in my wind hard then. So he turns away like he's going to walk away. Gets probably out to 50 yards again, going away. He looked like he was going to walk back into the woods the way he came. And I did one quick grunt, and he flipped right around. Came back probably 20 yards, was going to walk through a hole. You know, there was like a patch of thick brush. He had to clear that, and he was in the open. Drew again, waited for him to walk through, and he turned and started coming right at me. Like, didn't clear the brush, walked straight through it. So now I'm like, let my bow back down, but he is close, and I'm trying not to move. And he walks between the legs of the tree stand and my tree.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And the whole time, I'm like, the whole time.
First I'm hearing this.
And the tree stand is making a lot of noise. That it was real windy. That
yeah,
the trees.
It's a ladder stand, and the straps on it.
I was in that stand last night.
They
Yeah,
vibrate.
it does make noise.
So he walks. He's at 0 yards. He's straight down, and I'm like, I don't feel like I can move. And I know if he keeps walking like this, it's 20 yards to the edge of the woods, and I'm not gonna get a shot because he's gonna be straight down. So he walks under the stand, probably gets to about 10 yards, and looks like he's just going to go straight out into the field. And he's quartering away real hard, so I'm like, I can't shoot him like this. I'm drawing at this point again, just waiting, see if he's going to turn, waiting. And he took half a step, turning broadside towards me. And I was like, well, this is the best chance I'm going to get. It was a decent shot. And I touched off. I think he took a step right as I touched off. I hit him back a little far. And then...
But he didn't go far.
No.
I watched him run probably 300 yards through a field. And he went over, he crested a hill, and I lost him. And I was like, wow. I thought I hit him good. Got down. Well, called Mark. Called my father, got down, checked the arrow, and decided to give him time. Came back here, went back that evening. Didn't try to follow blood. Tried to just go right to where we saw him. Couldn't find anything. Went home. Came back the next morning, and we walked within 10 yards of him the night before.
Within 10 yards.
Yeah,
You basically watched him go down. You just
I
didn't
just
know it.
didn't know it.
Right.
He was right where I thought he was going to be.
So he walked between the ladder and the tree.
Yeah, he walked directly under me.
That's really something. You can't see this, but Mark is shaking his head. Mark is reliving
all
seasons of frustration.
all the things you hear about a 4.5-year-old buck and what they'll do, and how smart they are, how leery they are, how that deer guy's close to 100% as he possibly could. I've seen deer hit my trail at 100 yards, a trail I walked up with just my boots at 100 yards, lock up and leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He walked over where I walked in, where the dogs ran through.
Right.
He was on a doe. He was.
Yeah. He had something else on his mind. He just was in that stage where
there are just these situations where you can do no wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happens.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
It was a good season. I was happy with it.
For you.
Yeah. I mean,
a good season for you.
I've had plenty. Well, not as many as other people, but I've had some bad seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't killed a deer in 2 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you've watched the biggest buck on that property
get killed by somebody else.
Walk by you in bow range.
That one also walked pretty much underneath me.
And you could not stop him.
Nope. Didn't care.
You could not. You yelled. You screamed at him.
I did.
Whistled, grunted, screamed.
He didn't care.
And he walked up to Poppy, and
he walked up to Poppy and
as many of our stories go.
Yeah, Poppy finished him.
He went up to Poppy, and Poppy shot him.
Walked up right in front of him, stopped at 30 yards broadside, and he was dead.
Yeah. But, it comes in fits. It goes in fits and spells. You just don't know.
The second part of this story is Mark. Mark, unfortunately, is the bad luck part of the story. Mark, I mean, I don't even know where you want to kind of start, but I mean, just talk about it.
We'll talk about as what? I mean, my bad luck started in August, honestly. I was hospitalized with some real weird vision stuff. Spent a couple days in the hospital. They figured out I have an autoimmune disease called myasthenia gravis, which currently, luckily, is only affecting my ocular nerves. So I get double vision to a point where I have to wear an eye patch for some parts of each day. Some days it's all day, some days it's very little. But it's made hunting, especially the beginning of the season, a real challenge. In fact, I would say I didn't necessarily even hunt the first 2 weeks of this season because I was just feeling so crummy. So, bad luck, the luck of the draw that we have as humans. The cards were dealt, whatever you want to say. I was lucky enough to get out and spend some time hunting. I got to spend a good amount of time. With CJ in stand, which was a joy. CJ is my daughter. She's 8. She shot her first buck. I wasn't with her when it happened, but I was there for the recovery and all that stuff. So that was great. But then as far as trying to finish the deal for myself, I did end up in the latter half of the season really putting some time in and just did not get within range of a mature buck.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, we did an episode about the crossbow killer buck, the one that Poppy blew up 2 crossbows on, and then Rachel got, which was a very nice buck. So Rachel was successful, right?
Yeah,
and I mean she hunted, but it wasn't like she didn't hunt a ton. Not anywhere near the days that you hunted by the end of the season.
No, I mean, and on the farm we're on, I had the most hours in stand out of anybody this year. which isn't necessarily typical. Matt shot his buck relatively earlier. He would have easily beat me, but yeah, I had a lot of time in seat.
Yeah. Right. So Matt got one. Rachel got one. CJ got one.
Kaylee got one.
Kaylee got one.
Hunter got one.
Albeit in, various places, but then other people were finding success, but for some reason.
Yeah, we had a year in Pennsylvania that was definitely an up year. Talking to a lot of the guys I pal around with, the guys I know who hunt, the guys I talk to, it was an up year. Last year, for some reason, was more of a down year. This year was an up year, and it's just you have these swings.
Right. I mean, it seemed like the rut was strong and the deer activity was good.
Yeah, we had good weather throughout for the most part.
We had a lot of dry weather this year.
It was a very dry year, which was which was weird, and that plays into the bad luck too. The last Saturday of rifle season, I saw just an absolute giant deer, big old Roman nose, dark ankles, and no antlers. So
yeah,
they dropped. So there was my mature buck for the year, but yeah, who knows?
Well, maybe. Right. And, I guess, again, that, sort of being the whole idea of this, that maybe all of this has been bad luck. But, Caitlin, what do you see tonight?
A big one.
A real nice deer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I mean, I haven't, spent a ton of time around whitetails, but both Rachel and Kaylee have, obviously, and they were excited about it. They were calling it a big deer.
Yeah. So everything might just be leading up to a moment here in the late season where we're recording this on New Year's Eve. And so there's 2 weeks or something of the late archery and flintlock muzzleloader hunt left to go. And who knows? It might just be that you kill the biggest deer of your life. I'd like to see you kill it with a flintlock. It sounds like you're thinking you might be crossbow hunting more. We're actually sitting here listening to it rain outside right now, which is never
makes that decision seem a little wiser.
Yeah, never. Listen to rain never feels good when you're thinking about flintlock muzzleloader hunting, as we talked about in a recent episode.
Those things are hard enough so as it is.
Right. But who knows? I mean, it was certainly bad luck. And it is kind of amazing. I mean, the deer do not normally drop their antlers here before the end of rifle season. It's not that it's unheard of, but it's pretty rare.
And that wasn't just, you hear people say, that's a big deer, I think it dropped its antlers. I've talked to, I know of at least 7 instances of different people who have deer on camera who have killed or know someone who has killed a deer that shed one antler or both. So I think it comes down to that dry weather you were talking about. I think it was a mineral issue for something that's real
nutrition or something.
Right. So across the state, it is happening. People are aware of it. So it's just one of those things the year we got, so.
But yeah, it's pretty amazing to have a chance at a mature buck with a rifle that doesn't have antlers anymore.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good stroke of bad luck right there.
Yeah.
So can you count it as an antlerless or a buck?
Yeah, if you were to harvest it,
it's an antlerless deer. The tag is an antlerless deer tag.
Right. You could not count it as a buck.
Okay.
Yeah. It would have to be antlerless.
And I think the funny juxtaposition of the bad luck of things is the 2 hours you did have in stand, Hunter, weren't just like, oh, I climbed in my tree stand and there was a hot doe and the buck ran up to me and shot it. Right.
It was.
You ran the deer off getting into your tree stand.
Yeah. It was action the whole time.
I had
dogs run under me.
You had a lady walk her dogs and the dogs ran under your tree stand, right?
Yeah.
The deer came in to your wind.
Yes.
Left and came back out of your wind.
Yes.
And you saw an even bigger buck than the one you killed, or potentially.
I had 3 legal buck in range after the dogs came under me.
And we think there's a chance that the bigger buck that you saw was the one that Caitlin may have seen tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I understand the story to be, I mean, you guys knew what each other were doing and you chose a stand and Hunter went to the stand you didn't pick.
More so than that.
I said to Mark, I will hunt wherever you don't want to go. He said, I know where I'm going. And I said, where do you think I should sit?
And I said, if I were you,
I would sit in that stand over there. And that's where I went.
So you're a good guy.
I'm a great guy.
You're just a bad hunter.
I'm just a bad hunter.
And I mean, I have this experience all the time. I mean, turkey hunting last year was this way for me. I hunted maybe 7 or 8 times that I got out in the woods last year for turkeys. I heard a total of 3 toms in that whole time, which is, I mean, we're covering a lot of country in New Mexico looking for those birds. And in places where, I've had success in the past. And I only heard 3 birds, but we got every one of them. Caitlin got one, that we put to bed, and then her and our friend Jeremy Romero, who was on the elk hunting podcast, they went in and got that bird first thing in the morning. And then the last 2 days of the season, a friend of mine went back up there, and in an hour and a half, we killed 2. And it's just like, I don't know, but I spent most of that season like walking around the woods, like maybe I don't even know what a turkey sounds like, maybe, I don't know, maybe these calls I'm making aren't even turkey calls. And then it's just like that, like just this switch flips, and all of a sudden there's the success that you've been looking for and struggling to figure out why it's been so elusive.
That doesn't take away from, Hunter's ability and skill, and he's spent plenty of time in the deer woods. It just happened to be that this year, was a luckier year than others.
No, not at all.
But I will say that I think it's easy when you're going through a stretch where you feel like all the decisions you're making, it almost compounds. It's like I just can't make the right decision. The reason I picked the stand I sat in was because 2 nights in a row we saw a legal shooter buck. One of the bucks, I was looking to harvest this year, at that stand in bow range. It was the first night I had the wind I needed to hunt that stand, and that's the reason I went there. And it just didn't happen. And in all honesty, I had a buck in range. I had a mature buck in range. Probably a 4.5-year-old looking at him, but he's not. We get a lot of junkie bucks, what we call junkie bucks. 4 on one side, 2 on the other. One really nice side 4, one really funky 4 and it's just the genetics we have on this property that I could hunt. And I had a buck like that, but I've been seeing some nicer bucks that I was looking for. And so, it just, the buck that I was hoping would show up was not the buck that showed up.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, bad hunters can get lucky, and I'm proof of that because I'm not. I never think I'm very good at any of this stuff that I spend so much time doing. But, anybody can get lucky. But I think the bigger point is that even when, you have a lot of experience and you kind of know what you're doing, you can just go through these periods of time where you feel like you cannot make the right decision. Like everything you do is just the wrong move. And some years are like that. And, and then it's especially hard when you see other people being successful. When it's like, Hunter, and again, I'm not making fun of Hunter. it's just the way hunting goes. And,
Absolutely.
like Hunter shows
That's
up.
also why we like it, right? I mean, there's so many variables and so many decisions you make, like where you're going to stand, where you're going to look from 1 second to the next, where you're going to hang your crossbow, are you going to hold it in your hand? Like, I feel like that's what makes it fun. And beyond skill, like so many stars have to align for it to all come
absolutely.
together.
I mean, we do a lot of decoying here with deer, with bucks, and I had a buck, and I'm fairly confident was the buck that CJ ended up harvesting the night before she harvested it. While it was Saturday night, I was with her. She shot it on a Monday night with Rachel, but I had my buck decoy out, and I would say, you give me that deer where I was at with the decoy, I'm going to get that deer to me 99% of the time in the rut. Just didn't happen. Just did not. Saw the decoy, just did not react to it for some reason. And we've killed quite a few bucks over decoys. And then 2 nights later, they decoyed them in. So you just don't know why they're going to react the way they're going to react. What's going to trigger the good luck to happen? Would a hunter's deer, if the dogs want to run in there, what if those dogs ran some does back in, those does running back in may have pushed that buck back to him. Who knows?
That's right. It might, right. Exactly.
That could have been the good luck.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
There were 3 doe feeding, and they were not going to go back in the woods. They were going to keep walking straight through that field, and those dogs came down. And as soon as those doe went back in the woods, it was pandemonium. There were deer everywhere. There were bucks chasing does every direction.
And so I guess that kind of brings us around. I mean, to the story with Caitlin from a couple of weeks ago. Caitlin, talk about your deer hunt a little bit. I mean, at least the what we were up to and where we were.
I had a either sex white-tailed deer tag in New Mexico. There's some cows deer in the southwestern part of the state, but the eastern part of the state, along the border of Texas, you do get some eastern whitetail, Texas whitetail that come in there. And so I had the tag last year too, and enjoyed the hunt and like putting in for it because it's neither sex tag. So if we're in a position where we need some meat, there's some options there. But so we actually had some expectations going into the hunt, having been there last year with where we wanted to go, and went right back to where we got lucky last year.
Yeah. So in 2023, you killed a pretty nice buck, not a giant, but a nice buck.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know that unit at all. I mean, we had some friends give us some tips. I mean, mostly we're hunting on Kiowa national grasslands. It's not what you think of as whitetail country kind of at all, although there are some agricultural fields out there with pivots and I mean, you do see some corn and some winter wheat and some alfalfa and stuff.
But like no trees.
Right, like almost no cover.
Mm-hmm.
And so mule deer are more common than whitetails there. Antelope aren't uncommon, but there are whitetails mixed in it. And so in 2023, we found that buck the evening before, actually watched him breed a doe. It's mid-December, which is the rut there. And then he had that doe kind of locked down, and we got in on him the next morning and got him.
Yeah, that night we got to maybe 400 yards from him right at the end of shooting light with 5 to 10 minutes left, and decided to wait it out and hope he was there in the morning.
But we didn't see another hunter.
No.
I mean, we maybe saw somebody driving around that we thought was hunting, but we hunted it for 3 days and didn't see another hunter.
Right.
So then this year, we're like, perfect. We know exactly what to do. And the spot you got him in, we had to walk into. I mean, you probably got him a mile,
right,
a little more than a mile from the truck or something.
Saw nobody on our drive in there.
Right.
Yep.
And so then it gets light this year, 2024. We go in there, it gets light,
Yeah.
We're up in a
The
glassing
first
spot.
thing we spot are a group of people, I don't know, a mile and a half away or something.
Right, but it's so open
Mm-hmm.
that it's just like it. I mean, everybody can cover miles of country. It's like, shoot, there's a group of dudes.
15 minutes goes by or something. We see another group of people.
Closer. Right? So they're like, the first group is kind of down the draw from us. The next group is up the draw. And then as we're watching those guys, another truck drives in. And those guys get out and start walking right at
Right
us.
to us. Yep.
So we probably screwed around there longer than we should have.
We did.
Bummed out. We saw like 4 or 5 coyotes, 1 little mule deer buck, no whitetails, and like 9 people.
Yeah.
And there's only 15 tags in the unit. So it's like, even if each group of people only had 1 tag, that was still like 4 out of 15 people in a giant unit,
Mm-hmm.
right? That are all in the same spot that we want to be hunting.
Yeah.
They're like, all right. I had another spot that I had hunted with a friend at one point that you hadn't gone to. I'm like, we'll go there. We get there.
See a truck and see 2 guys walking into the spot we were headed to.
So like 9:15 in the morning or whatever. And we pull up basically 5 minutes behind these other guys that are walking into the spot.
Yep.
Like, all right, well, we know of kind of one other spot that has access points like a mile and a half apart on another draw that we don't like as much, but we had hunted a little bit the year before, not really seen much, or maybe seen a doe or 2 in it or something. And we drive over there like all but 10 o'clock in the morning. One end of it is clearly better from a like cover standpoint than the other end. We pull into that spot.
There's a truck parked. Guys glassing.
Right. There's 2 dudes glassing, standing next to their truck glassing that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, we cannot win here. Like, I can't, like, everywhere we go, there's people. Is this a totally different experience than the year
Right.
before?
Last year there had been cold, snowy weather, and I think that kept people inside or just not out.
I mean, maybe that's it, but we hunted 3 days of a 5-day season and didn't see anybody else. It's just
some of it's
so
just
weird.
random variability too.
Yeah,
Who draws a tag and if they're even going to go.
I guess so. And where they're going to go.
Yeah.
So then,
We pretty much have one spot
right.
left.
And I particularly am now like very frustrated.
Yeah, I think you had called Poppy and vented a little bit at some point that morning.
I probably called everybody. I probably called or texted Matt and Mark and Poppy. Like, this is blown out. This really stinks. I don't know what to do. So the last spot we go to, it's now 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's just like, well, I guess we'll just check this spot out to see if there's anybody parked in here and maybe have a place to come back to in the afternoon. And you drive in that spot, and again, this is like flat country with some like little draws in it.
Relief, yeah.
And the spot you go in, and you just go up a little bit of a rise, and then you can kind of see down, and you're sort of looking over a draw that you can't see all the way into, but the draw is there. And we got up onto that rise, and I stopped the truck, and I put my binos up, and I'm looking through the windshield of the truck, and I'm like, oh, there's a deer. Like, oh, I think that's a whitetail. And it's like, yeah, it's a buck. And
First one we've seen.
right.
Yeah.
First deer we've seen. Well, first whitetail deer we saw. And then he disappeared into that draw.
So we bail out of the truck. Figured he was probably 1,200 yards away or something. but we're still trying to get our bearings with exactly where he was. Or maybe we drove a little ways further and then parked and then bailed out of the truck.
Yeah, I think he dropped he dropped out of sight.
Yeah.
It looked like he went behind a bush, and then it was like, oh, I think he actually dropped down into the draw.
Mm-hmm. So where were we? We bail out of the truck. We don't see him right away when we get out, but we just start walking. Like, we knew he was kind of moving to our right. So we just kind of walk on a diagonal, that direction. But within a few minutes, end up seeing him again.
Yeah, he popped up at like 800 yards.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, he's moving down that draw.
Yep.
Right.
And having been there last year, we kind of knew that draw was going to keep going right, but come closer to us. So we had an idea of where we might be able to cut him off and kept moving.
Yeah, basically just try to get in front of him in the draw.
Yeah.
And so then he disappeared again.
Yep.
And we hit a fence line there, and we hustled down that fence line.
And we saw him pop up again at 400, 500 yards.
Yeah, too far enough that we weren't going to shoot.
Every time we saw him, he was nose on the ground moving.
Yeah, like he never picked his head up.
No.
He was just totally intent on whatever he was smelling on the ground, which must have been a hot doe. I mean, seemed like the kind of buck that like a doe had gone through there at some point recently, and he was trying to find her.
Yeah, so we picked out a spot that we thought, was still in line where he was going to move to, and hustled that way. We're walking down a fence line. We're trying to be aware. Knew he could pop up at any second, and sure enough, he did. And this time he was 200 yards walking right at us.
Yeah, like 200 yards, totally wide open.
Wide open.
Right?
Yeah.
And we flopped down and ended up being about a 150-yard shot.
It was tough, though, because he actually, he wouldn't stop. And he kept getting closer, and I was prone, and I probably should have just gone to sitting right away because it was so flat that he was constantly getting blocked by yuccas, or that was the main thing. So he was constantly moving, so I was also constantly moving, but a little scared to actually sit up and get a better position on him. It was a little exciting for a couple minutes with that.
Yeah, but I mean, when you say popped up, it was like literally we're walking down this fence line and we're just about to the spot where we had decided we were going to stop. And you're like, Mike, there he is. And I'm like looking in front of us trying to, thinking like you just see a little bit of him. I'm like, where? I don't see him. You're like, he's over there pointing to our left. And look, and the deer is just completely in the wide open, like 200 yards from us wide open. And we are in the wide open. And he does not.
But his nose is on the ground.
Right. He just doesn't see us. He just doesn't notice that we're there. I mean, it was so lucky.
Yeah.
Right.
Very lucky.
But it's just like, and so I think even though we covered like 3/4 of a mile or whatever, it was only 20 minutes from when we first saw the deer till we were standing there with him that you had gotten him. So, but it's just like all of those things. Like I was so frustrated about those people being in all of our other spots. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And then
you're out of hope because you expect that at 10 o'clock in the morning with one spot left.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, Mark, what's 10 o'clock in the morning when there's people in all your spots and you have yet to see a deer feel like?
It's called lunchtime.
Yeah. Feels bad. You feel frustrated, especially, it's public land hunting and there's nothing you can do about it, but it's just a hard pill to swallow. And then it's just like that just turned so fast. And then your dad, we'd taken the boys on the trip, not out hunting with us, but your dad went with us and he was watching the boys. And the spot we got him in was so easy to walk to that we were able to call your dad and he brought the boys out.
Yeah, and they walked out to us.
Right. They walked out to us and we waited for that to skin and quarter the deer, and Robert held a leg. And it was just like, it turned out to be this amazing
Yeah.
experience. I mean, the deer, it's not a big buck, but it does not matter one bit. It was such an amazing deer hunting experience for me anyway. And,
No, for sure.
have that opportunity to get the boys out there and spend that time with them. It's just like
Yeah.
all those pieces of bad luck, all those guys being in all those other spots. And then it's just like,
Forcing us to the best spot.
who knows?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if we hadn't driven in that lane, we hadn't driven into that last spot there, which I could have just as easily. I mean, I was at a point of frustration where I really wanted to just drive by and go get a donut. We hadn't done that, then, so I just, it's just so interesting to me, and I just feel like there's so many things in life that are like that, where it's just like, no matter how discouraged you are and how discouraging a situation is, whatever it might be professionally, personally, you don't know. Like, you just don't know when those things that all seem like bad fortune can end up leading to something really good. And I think there's also a cautionary tale in there, where it's like, there certainly are times where, and I mean, it's, from a hunting standpoint, it's almost certainly happened to all of us, where it's like, we have harvested an animal and then seen a much bigger one, or, I mean, whatever it is. I made a absolutely great, absolutely perfect shot on a really nice Barbary sheep that I was sure was a giant ram, only to watch the giant ram run out of the bottom and out of my life forever. So I don't know. It's just, I think it's one of those things that hunting kind of teaches us about life. So good luck, bad luck, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just don't know. I've had a good run of deer in a row, bucks in a row with a bow. And then I've had spells where it just seems, like I said, it didn't seem like I could do anything right. And then my second year, I had a couple seasons ago, I had 2 years in a row where it just felt like I wasn't doing anything right. And then the second to last Saturday, I ended up shooting a drop time buck. So you just don't know. You just got to keep hunting. And that's it's
the beauty of it.
That's the I don't know is it going to be good luck today? Is it going to be bad luck today? I don't know, but if I don't go out there, I'm not going to know.
I mean, it couldn't be good. It couldn't be special if so much of it weren't hard.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to have it. Like, it wouldn't be genuine. You know what I mean? It just, I mean, like we talked about with a flintlock, and how, when you get one that way, like, it's really special because of how hard it is. It's just,
Yeah.
Like, that is, it's hard in the moment. It's necessary to make it rewarding, but you just have to have these periods where you feel like it's all bad luck and nothing will go your way, so that when it does go your way, it's it's a major accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I walked into the woods every year, killed a deer in 2 hours, I probably wouldn't hunt.
Right. It would be boring.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, it wouldn't be fun. I mean, it's
the 2 years of sitting in the woods and not killing anything that
right.
makes killing something actually matter.
Right.
I think this year for me, the bad luck too has played into the feeling that I need it in a way. We talk about, like crossbow hunting. I've never been a crossbow hunter. I've always shot a bow. This year's been very difficult, so I have had to carry the crossbow more. I did bow on some, and I go through weeks where I feel really well, and not really well, but I go through weeks where I feel okay, and I go through weeks where it's a real fight to get out even. And I've felt like I really needed this win this year. But who knows? You know, like if it doesn't happen, I came to grips with it at the end of rifle season. This is the hardest I've hunted in Flintlock in this late season ever in my life. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But you know, it just, especially in archery season, it just felt like I just need one of these, a win. I just need a win. And I'm happy for everybody that killed deer. I am. I mean, I could not be happier for Hunter. I could not be happier for Kaylee and Rachel and CJ and Matt. And
I mean, only so much for Matt.
Only for so much for Matt. But it was just a bad luck year. I just felt I deserved it. And I think sometimes you press harder, you feel like you deserve it. If I put the time in, I deserve this to happen. That's not how it works. It's not how life works. You know, you can work as hard as you want and do everything right, and things still won't go the way you expect them to. So,
well, you got some new treatment on the horizon, right?
Yeah, looking like I'm going to get some treatments here, an IV treatment they're going to do, and then maybe a surgery. Well, they are going to do a surgery to remove my thymus, which hopefully sends me into remission. That's the hope. That's the goal. And then this will just be a speed bump in my life, a medical speed bump. But it's, again, you know, it's the cards were dealt. You just don't know.
Well, good luck, bad luck. Who knows?
That's right.
There might be some major silver lining in all this that is not at all apparent yet, and I'm pulling for you in that regard. And I'm hoping more than anything that you and I go out tomorrow morning, and that big buck that Caitlin saw tonight ends up walking by you, and all the bad luck from this season ends up leading to the biggest buck of your life.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting for a phone call.
It's going to be a new year.
It's going to be a new year.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
All right. I think that just about wraps it up. Thanks, as always, for listening. You can find almost all of our content on outdoorrules.com, which is RUHLS, as always, our last name. We're at Outdoor Rules on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. But anyway, really, really hoping that we get some late season luck here, and especially for you, Mark. Love you, man.
I love you too.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Hunting and fishing, the great outdoors, mixing history, laughter, love, and folklore, creating memories with family and friends. These are the trophies that matter in the end. Outdoor Rules.